after me. Repeat after me. I am somebody. I am somebody. You didn't make me, so you can't break me. God made me, and God don't make no jump.
Hey, Shalom, Most High in Christ, blessed with Israel, united in Christ. I'm Officer Eli.
I'm Officer Jeremiah.
And we out here at the historical Frederick Douglass High School.
Listen, the community has been crying for help. We are here for IUIC.
We're starting our Youth Violence Conflict Resolution Seminar, and we got backpacks, we got food, we got school supplies, and we also got bounce houses. We even got specialized barbers out here giving out free haircuts to the kids for back to school. So we're trying to bring forth the unity amongst our people and show we can come together as God intended.
Until we're going to start in about 2 more minutes. I want to get everybody seated down. If you're here on the sides, I need you to come a little bit more in. Be close, be family. Be started with our next key speaker. Goes by the name of Mr. Andy Price, known as Coach P. Pierce. Coach P.
Yeah.
He was an Army veteran, firefighter, boxer. I'm gonna let him go through his presentation, but we got Coach P.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I hope everybody's having a better than excellent day. My name, of course, is Andy Pierce, better known as Coach P. My goal today is to try to clarify some things as far as it's considered as being violent. First thing I want to stand up. We're gonna kind of get it loose. I know y'all just got finished eating, so we're gonna kind of loosen it up a little bit for y'all fall asleep on me. All right. Next thing I want you to do is face someone. Now, there's a catch to this. When you face someone, in your opinion, I only want you to face them if in your opinion, you look better than they do. Come on. You look better than they do. Face them. Now, if you're facing your wife, you might want to face somebody else if you're going to be sleeping on the couch somewhere. All right. Now, what I want you to do, this person that's facing that feel like they look better than you, I want you to tell them off, and this is what I want you to tell them. So repeat after me. Repeat after me. I am somebody. I am somebody. You didn't make me, so you can't break me. God made me, and God don't make no jump. All right, give yourself a hand. All right, have a seat. All right. When I was in high school, we studied a man by the name of Albert Einstein. He was a very brilliant man. He had a theory. He was a theoretical physics. That's what he studied. And he had a theory. And his theory was, for every action, there's a reaction. For every problem, there's a solution that requires an action. We have a problem, and problem is violence in our community. How do we get here? So, violence, let's figure out, let's give a textbook definition of what violence is. The intentional use of physical force against someone, something, or someone that results in injury, death, psychological damage, or destruction of some kind. This is where we have resulted to in our community. And we're trying to figure out what can we do to stop it. All right, before we go any further, let's take a look at some stats. Black children and teens are 17 times more likely than white children and teens to die by gun violence. Every 6.5 hours, a black teenager dies by gun violence in the United States. Black children and teens are 13 more times more likely than white children and teens of the same age to be hospitalized by a gun. Tulsa has the highest crime rate in the state of Oklahoma. The state of Oklahoma is ranked 16th out of the 50 states in violent crimes. Violent crimes in Oklahoma City has actually decreased in the year of 2023, down 1.7% from the previous years of the year of 2022. The reason why I put that up there is because this is 2024 and the year isn't finished yet. So I just had to give the stats from 2023. So that's why that's there. Now, when we come about and we start thinking about violence, I ask you, where do you think it comes from? Is it a behavior issue? Is it a choice that we're making? Why have we become more violent? That's the question I want you to ask yourself. All right. A parent is the first teacher of a child. A lot of times, violence happens in the relationships. A lot of times, parents, they divorce, they separate, they cause issues with the kids. Children become hurt because they end up with a single parent home. And that causes issues in a child's life, in a child's thinking. And that's what we need not to do. We need to try to stay together, as like they has been telling us, and unite and be that way. Indoctrination. Indoctrination, this is the process of teaching a person a set of beliefs, ideas, or opinions, but not accept or consider the opinions, beliefs, ideas, or opinions of another person. So one of the synonyms to that is brainwashing, coercion, or programming. Sometimes that happens to us. One of the things of indoctrination that I think about the most is racism. Racism is a learned behavior. There's no truth to it, but someone may feel like they're better than another person based on the color of their skin, and that is a definition of indoctrination, because we indoctrinate people sometime in the way that we think and the way that we behave. School is a great education purpose. School is good for social skills, and that's where we learn most of our social skills from, is from school. We deal with a lot of people from different races, different colors, different religions, and this happens. It teaches us a plethora of ideas and things to do and help us to deal with understanding people. Sometimes we deal with racism even in school. Sometimes we deal with situations where we get into fights because we're not learning how to get along with each other. And that's something that should happen from the parents. Influence. A young man, one of the guys, they talked about influence a lot, and I want to reiterate, influence is one of the strongest characteristics that causes us to fail. We are influenced by so many different things, so many different people. Music is a key influence. It teaches us bad things, negative things, harsh things. The TV is another example that influences. It influences our behavior. And those are the things that we should not pay attention to because it leads us down the wrong path. TV and music. Let's get into that a little bit deeper. TV, television. What it's saying that it tells you a vision. It gives you an idea of what something is, and it tells it to you. All right? The music that we listen to today is very vulgar, it's very disrespectful. Let's break the word entertain down. The word enter means to go into. The word tain means to hold. A container holds something. If you detain somebody, you hold them back. So, if we're talking about entertain, something goes into you and is held there. And if you're listening to negative music, bad things, it goes inside to you and is held there. And at some point, you'll permeate it, you'll use it, or you'll reflect on that behavior. And a lot of times that's what our kids are doing, reflecting on the behavior because the music is held into the spirit and then they act it out. And that's not what we want to happen. Communication with friends. I'm not going to speak a whole lot on that, but I will just say, tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you how you're going to be. Birds of a feather flock together. That's all we're going to say about that. Environment and lifestyle. A lot of times we deal with a harsh environment. Sometimes it's no fault of our own. Sometimes it's just what our parents can do. But sometimes the environment that we're in can be very harsh. It can make us become violent because we're patterning ourselves off of people and other things. And that can be an issue that causes us to be violent as well. Emotional intelligence. That's something that I was wanting to talk about. That's one of the main subjects I want to talk, emotional intelligence. All right. This is something that I think a curriculum in school should be. I don't know if it's to have a semester of it or something, but I think emotional intelligence is very important to understand and to know. All right. Basically what it is the ability to manage and control your emotions, also understand the emotions of people around you. Seems like we have a big struggle with trying to understand other people's emotions or understand our own. Women tend to be able to identify with emotional intelligence just a little bit better than men. Men kind of struggle with emotional intelligence because of their feelings. Men don't want to show their feelings unless it's tied to anger. Then a man is more willing to show his feelings as long as it's tied to anger. But if we can start to resist that fight back feeling that's inside of us and resist the temptation, because let me explain something to you. There are so many people that are in prison behind losing their temper and letting their emotions get the best of them. There are so many people today that are in the grave because they can't handle their emotions. So I think this is something that we really, really, really need to focus on. These behaviors right here, there's 8 of them that shows low emotional intelligence. Number one, struggle with empathy. A lot of us struggle with being empathetic to people. Empathy is close to sympathy. Sympathy is sorry for someone, but empathy is more just understanding how they feel. We have struggles trying to show empathy. Difficulty regulating emotions. A lot of times, us even as black people, we have difficulty regulating emotions, especially even as a black man. I can admit that I've had a problem dealing with my emotions. I've always been able to identify with anger, but crying or feeling sad or whatever, I would reject those emotions and I would push them away because I felt it was so unmanly. And a lot of us, we think that. Poor listening skills. That is a really, really big one. A lot of us, when we get angry, we don't know how to listen. We know how to talk. We want to get out what we have to say, but we hate to listen to people sometimes. Listening is a part of communication, but talking is not all it's about. Sometimes you have to listen so you can understand. Criticism. A lot of people have difficulty handling criticism. They can criticize, but it's hard for them to handle it and take criticism, especially constructive criticism. Struggling with forming deep connections. Some people, since they have these issues or whatever, it's hard to get close to them. Maybe that may be you, maybe it may be someone you know. So maybe you might have to try a little harder to get a connection with them. Difficulty expressing feelings. A lot of us have difficulty expressing our feelings. We stay clammed up, we stay closed out, we don't talk very much, and so nobody knows what's wrong with you, know how to identify how to help you because you won't tell them what's going on. Often misinterpret others' emotions. That happens a lot. Misinterpreting other people's emotions. These are some of the strongest things that goes on. Often holding grudges, past hurts, resentments creates an ongoing cycle of negative emotion. These are the people who have low emotion, low intelligence, low feelings, low in understanding. If that's you, that's something that you have to take a self-examination of yourself and figure out if any of those things pertain to you. If so, you may have low emotions, low intelligence. So if that may be the case, that's something you might want to do as far as thinking about it, reflecting on it, talking to someone about it, reading information on it. There's so much information right now about emotional intelligence on your phone. You can type it in. They have all kind of documentaries on it, talk shows that talks about it. It's something that has never really been addressed too much, but nowadays I think that's something that needs to happen in the black families of today. I think they need to also find some kind of curriculum to put it into schools as well, if not just for a semester or something, some kind of extracurricular class. But in closing, I want to say, discipline is probably one of the strongest attributes that a person can have. And that's one of the things that we don't have is discipline. Discipline is saying what you said you were going to do after the mood you said it has gone. That's what discipline is. People who have discipline, they have self-mastery. You bring yourself. Quit worrying about everybody else, what everybody's doing, controlling everybody else, how everybody else feels. Spend some time with self, learning how to master self. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach.
Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. We just finished up with our conflict resolution seminar for our youth violence event. I'm here with my big brother. You know, he a pillar in the community, Coach P. Coach P, how you feel about today's event? How you think it went? How today's event went on the scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, I would say 10. It
great.
went really well. It really went well.
Uh-huh.
The people who gave the talks or whatever,
Uh-huh.
they really had informational things to say. The food, the whole atmosphere.
Right.
I think this was a little bit different atmosphere. It was a little more cozier than when at the last place because
Right.
we went to the school, so it was a bigger event. I wish more people would have came though.
Because we're building, and it's just on the beginning. That's why I was telling a lot of our people that joined us today that this is just the beginning of many more. Because, like he said earlier at the event, we're not stopping. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We're building because we have a lot of souls and a lot of minds to touch. Because what stood out in your portion was when you were speaking about how we can't control ourselves, and it challenges us on our emotional intellect. You know what I'm saying? And that's definitely plaguing our community with our young men and our young women on why we have to try to come to some sort of solution when it comes down to youth violence, because it's rapid right now in the community.
Right. And that's why I think emotional intelligence is a really good thing for people to start looking at, talking about, getting to be able to understand how do you intellectually handle your emotions.
Right.
Really simple.
And we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
Because I know I can touch and dab, but the way you broke it down today, it was very, intellectual to me as well, because it touched it in places to where I'm like, well, I didn't even think about it that way. Right. And like you said, when you did your portion of the event, it starts at home.
Yes, it starts
because
at home.
if you got the father and he's still occupied in the evil doings of the world, it's passing it down to the children. So if you see him not being able to control his emotions, guess what? The child, they ain't gonna know how to control themselves. So it's like when we think about the things that we go through on a day-to-day basis, it starts with us, because a lot of our adult men and women, they don't even understand how many of our youth, the young kids, are watching us and on our every move.
Right. And men are visual. Men are visual. So especially our black men, they're very visual. So they're gonna go by what they see.
Right.
So even if they see you you doing something, you're kind of teaching them, even though you don't know it.
Right.
They're just watching you and they're patterning themselves off of what you do because of what you see.
Right. And that's definitely something that we need to spread on the whole world, especially with us adults, because I had to learn myself, they watching me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
the good and the bad.
Yep.
So why not keep on, challenging myself on the good doings of the community? So when the youth grow up, they'll learn how to challenge themselves on the good doing. And now, guess what? We got a whole train of young men and women trying their best to, intellectually challenge themselves in the world to where now we can truly make it a better place. Because that was,
that's right.
That's like you said, even with the music, we a while back, we always had songs that spoke empowerment to us as a nation of people. It spoke how we need to do better, how we reach for the future, how we want a better world for you and me. You know what I'm saying? We had a lot of songs like
Harold
that.
Melvin, wake up everybody.
Wake up everybody.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Get up out the bed. Go out there and teach our people. But it done changed.
Yes, I have.
And now when we listen to the music, you hear a lot of bang, bang, shoot 'em up. And, we can't keep on living that way. We definitely can't. And I'm glad that according to the visual we're seeing today, I'm so glad that we have brothers like you. Coach, I'm telling you, because we got Coach P, we had the fifth quarter in here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Just even with Mr. Jones letting us come to the historic Douglas High School to put on this event, like that just shows that we are definitely growing.
Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Let's see if we can knock it out.
You sure?
Thanks, bro. Thanks, sir.